How y'all guys doing, man? You know, we're gonna talk about today is overanalyzing her text is actually killing your attraction, and most men have no idea on that. I get it, man. She sends you a text, and maybe it's just either one word or two words, maybe even three words. And for many of you guys out there, you're holding your phone and you're staring at it for maybe 15 or 20 minutes trying to decode all this, what you may think of as unclassified information. You maybe read it once and you read it again. You screenshot it, and maybe you send it to your friend or your buddy and you analyze the punctuation. You wonder, why is there no emoji this time, or why isn't there a smile, or why isn't there something kind of bubbly to kind of move this thing along, because it was there yesterday. You got it yesterday from her. And what you do is you start to reply back or come up in your mind of a draft of what you want to say to that woman, and you try to draft that reply, you delete it because you feel it's not going to get you anywhere. You draft another one, and then what do? You delete that one, and you're just really going up and down doing all of this, and you're actually driving yourself crazy by doing this. And you're trying to calculate it, and you're going through all these things, and it's like in your head you're wondering, man, like, is this going to get me anywhere? Which makes you even more frustrated. And the thing is that anxiety that you're feeling right now and everything, she can feel that through the message that you send. And see, what you guys don't understand, when women get messages and things happen, most guys assume that if I send a woman a message, she's going to understand me perfectly by what I send. But no, that's the problem, guys, because every message that you send has to go through a filter. And that filter, and this is why text messaging is a real thing that you got to probably think about moving away from, because if you send something to a woman and what you're thinking is not what's going to be analyzed, because it has to go through her system, her filter of beliefs, judgments, and morals, and then she's going to have to process what you're saying versus everybody else. So this video is going to show you exactly where a lot of you guys go wrong, and more importantly, when you learn the game and how you talk to her differently, is actually going to change everything up. That's what we want to talk about, because most of you guys don't understand what she's reading. Because before we even get into the habits, you need to understand something that should change everything when it comes to you young men. And when it comes to women out there, she's not reading your text the way you think she is, like I said before, because of the filter that I'm talking about. You believe that she's reading your words, and you believe that she's understanding everything that you're saying, but she's not, man. She's reading your energy, but she's also reading the person that she met. Remember, guys, see, where a lot of guys fail in the game is that they don't understand how women process, think, analyze, and come up with an equation. It's not just your text message. She's thinking about what you said when you first met her. She's thinking about how you said it when you first met her. She's thinking about the reaction she had when she was with you. She's going to calculate all that stuff up and then process what you're actually saying, okay? But see, the thing is that people don't understand that women are not. I know a lot of y'all guys want women to think the way that we think, but they don't think that way. And on top of that, you've got to then, once you get past that signal, then you got to look at the woman that is guarded. She has her walls up. There's no trust. The question is, who is this guy? What does he want from me? What is he trying to say to me? What's the plan? Why is he saying this? What does he really want from me? Is he trying to be nice to me because he wants to get something from me? So remember, guys, there are layers that come from this. And then on top of that, you've got to look at the third layer of the other guy she's talking to. Now, I'm not saying all this stuff to bring you down. I'm just trying to show you that all of these things are actually going to come into play. And that's why, I'm going to talk to you about this and help you out. Because she's just trying to figure out, are you a grounded person, or are you desperate, needy, creepy, anxious, weird, thirsty? She's trying to process all this out because she's trying to put you actually in a category. And what a lot of people don't understand is that when it comes to weakness to a woman, it's like a sickness or something. We get sick because our body is saying that whatever we ate is not good for us. So it wants to push that out, right? Well, when it comes to text messages, it's kind of like the same thing. When you're talking to her based off of what she's processing with you, she's analyzing and is really going to push out the things that turn her off. This is more about turn on and turn off. A lot of guys don't realize they turn a lot of women off by the things that they're saying. But remember, gentlemen, I know it's going to shock you. It's not what you are saying. It's the person that has said the same things that you said that gave her a bad experience. So I don't want to say that the problem is yours. It's just that she's actually met you before, and I think that's part of the problem. The problem is that the thing about her emotions and her feelings is that it cannot detect a genuine text message from somebody that could be dangerous, threatening, or weird and creepy. That's going to do several things. And that's why most guys kind of mess all this up, because of the way they think and the way they move. And when you begin to overthink things, she notices this by how you move. If you start to ask questions, if you feel insecure by, what are you doing? Why are you doing? What are you doing? Why aren't you? And things like that. Those things can actually turn her off. And let me tell you what happens on her end, okay? When you take 45 minutes to craft the perfect reply, because I've always told you, and I kind of talked about this the other night, when you guys try to craft and try to be perfect on an imperfect system, you're already showing your insecurity, okay? Not with words. It's not the words that are the problem. It is the gap between what you are saying, and that's what a lot of guys don't understand. What you don't understand about your opponent or a woman, she can see when something is off. And she knows what a lot of guys will do is that they will sit and wait. And the waiting is because they're either processing what to say or they just don't know what to say. And what happens with the woman, she starts to realize that, hey, wait a second here. What does this guy want? What is he doing? What is he saying? Why is he saying this versus saying that? He's taking a long time. And listen, women don't care about the time, because when it comes to time, the thing about it is they have time with other guys. It's not like you're the only person she's talking to, because she's still trying to separate the right person. Who should I talk to? Why should I talk to him? And what y'all guys don't understand with women, I think this kind of hurts a lot of you guys out here, because it doesn't play out well. Because if you're trying to give a woman a perfect reply and trying to craft things, there's no rhythm. And when you break the rhythm and she notices the rhythm is broken, it's going to turn her off. That's why, guys, I always tell you, when you're interacting with a woman, I'm not interacting with the woman. I'm technically putting myself in a position to show her why she should interact with me by thinking of, okay, if women process and women analyze, most of you guys are not using that to your advantage. You're not putting her in a position to sit back and ask the question that's going to open up the loop of who are you, if you're doing the same thing that everybody is doing. And I think that's part of the problem for you young men out there. You're you're just playing the same game that everybody else is playing, and that's called playing it safe. Gentlemen, the thing is that you always want to move her off her Tampax by putting her in an action. An action that is not sexual, but an action is see, number one, if she's going to follow directions, number two, if she's interested, and number three, smoke her out and make her really force her to process who you are all at the same time. But it's just not how you text it. You can also use voice messages and everything. There are so many ways to win at the game. And I think so many young men out here, and I think this is where the majority of the problems come in at, because a lot of young men, they just are so excited that the woman reaches out to them that they don't ever move or do anything else. They're like, oh my God, she's talking to me. So let me just go ahead and just ride it out. And hopefully she'll see that I'm a good guy based off of just words. Words are not going to move mountains. It's not the words, gentlemen, that's going to make her want to talk to you. It's the feeling behind the words that's going to make her move. And the only way to do that, guys, you have to learn how to put a woman into action. If you cannot put her into an action, excuse me, if you can't put her into an action, then it's not going to work out for you. Excuse me, hold on a second. Got to clear my throat, man. Yeah. Oh, man. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying, most young men out there play it safe. And because you're playing it safe, that's why most guys are losing, because safe is not going to help you, all right? All right. The thing is that you've got to tap into something to her and make her in and put her into an action. Again, I've always say simple actions. And I don't want, I know a lot of y'all guys take some of the stuff that I say crazy when I tell you to tell her to send you a photo. Now, when I always tell women, there's a time and a place for that, but when I tell a woman to send me a photo, it's not nothing sexual or nothing like that. You just want to see how she's going to return serve. Because most women, when they deal with regular guys, they say, well, I don't need to send you anything because I got an array of photos on my IG or my Facebook. You can look at one of them. That's cool, but that tells you a woman's not interested in you. But a woman that's interested in you will take a photo because she wants to know what you think about her. And when they follow your directions and take that photo, they want to know what you think. And then that's when you can move on and start flirting and things like that. But everything is a process. You don't just meet a woman and say, hi, how you doing? I'm Steve, send me a photo. It doesn't work that way. Everything is a time and everything is a place. And what you got to do when y'all think about this is that when you are sending her anything, and this is why I teach y'all about land, sea, air, and space. Nobody teaches this. This is why I tell you that your voice and videos will carry more weight than an actual text message. Remember, guys, a text message is something that she's going to process, but your voice is another layer of a process that she's not used to, because she needs to hear the arrogance. She needs to hear the authority. She needs to hear the authenticity. She needs to hear your dominance. She needs to hear your sexual confidence, because that's a different layer of processing information. And what's killing you guys is that you're playing the same game with everybody else, playing it safe, sending a text message and an emoji over to her, something like that. The beautiful thing about your voice is that it should carry the weight of who you are, which is going to throw her off. But it's going to force her to process you in a total different way. Guys, you understand what I'm saying? Go ahead and put 100 in the comments and what I'm chopping it up with you guys. But what's killing you guys is that because you're operating on the same system, you cannot expect the results that a man is going to get by using voice messages. Now, again, I know some of you guys are like, well, if I'm on the app and I got an app and there's no way I can send voice messages, how do I get her off that? Well, easily. Let's move this conversation to IG. Let's move it to Facebook. Let's move it to WhatsApp. And when you can move that conversation over there, that allows you in a perfect driver's seat, because at that point, you can really talk to her, send her voice messages, and then what changes the algorithm and opens up the loop, which is more fun, is when a woman is more relaxed and she will start sending you voice messages back. And y'all can play that beautiful game of tennis right there. And then you can move it to video messages and things like that. But when you're doing all of this, you have to make sure that you are not making, this is not a sexual conversation and everything like that, all right? But what you're doing is you're pulling back from the average text message, but you're showing her a completely different side that her algorithm, her reality has never processed before. All she knows are guys out there that are just shooting text messages. And that's what's actually going to separate you from everybody else. When you start to send voice messages, she can feel fun. She can feel exciting. She can feel dominance. She can feel authority. She can feel decisiveness. She can't feel those things with words because of the way she's processing information. And that's why, gentlemen, I'm telling all you guys out there, if you want to win in this, you're going to have to change the way you're sending messages to her. Because as long as you're sending just words over to her, it is not going to be or stick the way you want it to stick. And you're actually going to lose with women. I don't want you guys to lose. I really want you guys to win. So I want you guys to work on your tone, your rhythm, and your confidence. Because if you go up to her and put the bid in, all right, then she has an idea in her head of who you are. But if you back from the bid and go into just words, what she's going to do is she's going to process not only the way you walked up to her, but the words, but she's going to process, well, this isn't going anywhere because he's doing exactly what everybody else that I know is doing. And the only way you're going to actually change that, gentlemen, is by changing the way you communicate to women, okay? And the thing that is killing you guys is that you guys don't see it. I know in your world, in your reality of playing it safe, I know you think that it's working out and she's understanding you, but then you're wondering, why am I getting one-word messages when it can be fun? Guys, remember guys, you want to use something that she does all the time against her to benefit you, and that is analyzing. You want her to keep pressing play, and the more she's pressing play, the opening loop is going to get wider because she's trying to process every word that you say, the tone in which you say it, the rhythm in which you say it. And all of these things are going to draw her into you on a different scale. And this is why the game is so important, because so many young men out here, they're playing a game based off a set of rules that are never going to benefit them. It will never benefit you to send a basic message. You have to have more depth and range. And I know a lot of young men hate to hear that because they say, well, damn, I've got to do all this stuff just to get her to find interest in me. The problem is yes, because you're not the only one trying to get at her. So if everybody's doing the same thing all at the same time, then it's going to be based upon other men and not you. So gentlemen, what I'm saying to you is that you're going to kill any kind of attraction when you're playing a safe game of sending words over. Words are not impactful, and text messages, are not impactful, and they're not powerful. So what we have to stop doing is stop sending those. What we need to start sending is more voice messages and more videos where the interaction is going to open up the loop. And that's why you got to get your mouthpiece down. This is why you got to learn the pathway, because in order to do it right, you just can't just grab your phone and say something if you're nervous. If you have nervous energy, she's going to recognize it. If you don't believe yourself, she's going to recognize it. So just remember, guys, you can win with women. But one thing that you've got to stop doing is stop relying and hiding behind a text message and behind your words. As long as you hide behind text messages and words, you are always going to be seen as somebody that I don't want to be with because he's not showing me anything. He's showing me what everybody else is showing me, okay, guys? So I want you guys to remember that and think about that the next time that you send something to a woman. I always love it. Yes, I'm going to start talking through text message first, but when I'm ready, I'm going to switch it up and use my voice. And then I'll go back to a text and I'll do two voices and then a text, then a video, then a text, and a voice, a video, a voice, a text, a video. I'll keep switching it up because what she's getting are different parts of me in different times that when she starts to analyze me and all the other stuff, she has to analyze, well, he's saying this, but I can see him saying that. He's texted this, and it's going to really mess up the algorithm because women are not used to a man with depth and range, okay, guys? So I just want you guys to think about that the next time you text a woman. And if you guys are using voice messages and you're using videos, let me know in the comments what's going on. Is it actually working out for you? And tell us why. We'd like to know, okay, guys? And guys, if you enjoyed this video right here, make sure this video right here you watch right here, check that video out. That's gonna be it's a cool video. It's a laid back video. It's a fun video. Make sure you watch that and check that out, man. And we will definitely talk to you later. Peace.